Hello. This feels weird. Being back in these outfits. New year, same studio, same outfits.
Same everything.
Yeah. What happened to change? What happened to new year, new me?
It's true. Why change what's good?
Because we haven't entered the new season yet.
Yeah.
So soon, probably when we're done with Survive and we move into Frontier and Savers, then we're just gonna blow up everything.
Yeah.
Seekers will basically be over at that point.
This is true.
So, if Seekers gets a couple of streams in with the new everything, then, good for it. But
Like, this is footage of the future where Soloogarmon tears down the studio.
yeah, that's what this is. So, welcome in to episode 46, I think,
46?
of the Code Crown Podcast mini. Looking at Digimon Seekers 4-3. And 46.
46, dang.
So this is technically episode 46. If we were doing a live watch along of if this were an anime. If only this were an anime. If only.
Oh, this would be so good as an anime.
Yeah, it really would. But so my name is AJ, the gogglehead in charge, joined along, of course, by Miss Megmon.
Hello.
And yeah, this episode was great.
Yeah, it was. This is what the first one should have been.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the first one was just so drawn out. This had so much happening in it, and it didn't feel drawn out at all.
No. Soloogarmon, finally, he appeared at the end of 4-2, has now taken to the battlefield. He's still a cocky little brat.
Yeah.
And, but he just tears the battlefield up.
Yeah. Yeah, he does. And even when things do hurt, he's like, nah, I'm not selling this.
No, he just no sells a bunch of damage, and Eiji's like, give it over, you're totally hurt. And he goes, but he's like, yeah,
don't tell them.
Yeah, but if we tell them that, we can't break them, which I love. And he's just like, no, put on an invincible act and just play mind games. Like, he's even doing cool little poses on the battlefield with his stupid fire wrench and Vanguard.
Vanguard,
Yeah, so not Vanguard, but Vanguard.
Vanguard. And they keep calling it a mace.
Yeah. Mace is a choice option for it.
Did you notice that he was called Soloogarmon at one stage?
Soloogarmon, was he?
Yeah.
I know I did. I missed that.
Soloogarmon.
See? Yeah. That's our chatter about 4-2 and how he should have been this replacement for Garurumon, but you can't miss what doesn't go away.
They just let it slip this week.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like two things really happened in this chapter.
Yeah.
Soloogarmon is freaking amazing, and Kosuke is losing his damn mind.
Yes.
Like, being in the digital world, mind linking with Dorogoromon, being so close to Saya and whatever the Holy Chalice is.
Yeah, this is a whole new thing, right?
I knew I needed to do homework on something before we started. But like, he is sort of going over the brink, like, I'll be the one to rescue Saya, not you, and basically like telling Yulin, like, yeah, I don't need you, I just need the thing you're piloting.
Yeah, and he's taking a lot of jabs at Yulin as well.
Yeah,
like you basically abandon her, and all this, and maybe that was your way of getting penance, making sure no one else went DMIA, but I'm gonna save her, and
Yeah, and it really does go into detail and sort of describing how Kosuke has kind of wasted his life trying to get to this point.
Yeah.
But it,
Like, he has hope, which is good. But yeah, he's really just dedicated his whole life to this, and it might end up being nothing.
yeah,
We're under the impression it's going to be nothing anyway, that Saya is just going to be gone because she's been in there too long. But whatever this holy chalice is, that's kind of throwing a wrench into the works.
yeah. So there's two things I came out of this with. Tartarus and Ryusenji have been working together. And like I know I've been calling it since basically 1-1 that Ryusenji's a bad guy. But everything's a bit too perfect now when Yulin has that moment of realization of, oh wait, Eiji was given the vaccine prototype Digimon.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. She just suddenly realized what the hell is going on.
Yeah. Then there was the Dorugoromon. Maybe Dorumon doesn't have Tartarus's best intentions in mind. Like if he's led him on with this story of like this, holy chalice that can bring Saya back from DMIA.
Yeah, but we don't know what it is yet. But
yeah, it
seems like a fairy tale at the moment.
Yeah. And if Kosuke's like grip on reality is slipping that much, sacred chalice. It
an item of legend, which makes it sound like it's not real.
No, because I tried to do a bit of like homework on this before we started, and I was kind of got distracted then and didn't really look deep enough. But the only things I could really find when searching Digimon Sacred Chalice or Holy Chalice is there is a side quest in Digimon World Next Order where to recruit Vikemon, I think, you have to bring him a Holy Chalice.
Right.
And I don't think it's much of anything. I think this is just a MacGuffin that they've created for the story.
Yeah.
Like, now, I am open to correction. Maybe there's something in deeper Dorumon lore
maybe
that I'm, missing out on. But...
well, if you guys know anything, drop it in the comments.
Exactly.
If there's anything we've missed. But this definitely sounds brand new to me. And yeah, it's because we already have this Holy Grail item of this injection thing that's supposed to
cure Saya as
well, and
which
like
I think will go towards curing Leon. To be
honest.
Yeah,
that's what we've said. Maybe it won't work. Maybe they established that it won't work on Saya because she's been there so long.
Yeah.
But now we have this Holy Grail chalice.
Basically the Holy Grail.
I keep calling it the Holy Grail, but
because that's what it basically is by the sounds of it. This item of legend, that's going to be able to bring Saya back from DMIA, and like Kosuke has basically lost his mind, betting on this.
Yeah,
and that's probably where Dorugoromon comes into it from the trailer, because whatever this is isn't going to work.
Yeah.
Or
maybe that's why they're in those weird old ruins in the trailer. Maybe that's where this supposedly is.
Looking place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's supposedly where this chalice is, and it's just nothing. Big old nothing burger.
And then Kosuke loses his mind further, and then we basically get Kosuke's Soloogarmon segment. But yeah, like, and that's really it. It doesn't outstay its welcome. It's nice and compact. It it does what it needs to do, and kind of doesn't get in its own way, where I feel like that's where 4-1 was, where 4-1 had world building to do but really couldn't get out of its own way.
Yeah, like it describes, like he takes out the swords and fucking stabs Dorugormon in the neck.
Yeah.
And then discovers, oh, I didn't actually stab him in the neck very badly. It's like, I pictured it like a whoosh, 2 swords, one on each side of the neck, straight through. And then it's like, oh, it wasn't even a deep wound. How did you not make a deep wound stabbing a sword through his neck? Twice.
Barely an inconvenience. You know, and then there's this whole thing about like, you can't kill me because I'm going to be the one to save Saya, and you're...
He was also saying, "You won't kill me because
Because
that'll
yeah.
make Saya sad." Basically,
Like, playing all the fucking mind games,
Yeah.
Kosuke, and you know, bringing Operation Tartarus into fruition, and like, yeah,
yeah, he does seem to be gone a bit off the deep end.
yeah, and
Up
it's
until
such
now,
an
he's
immediate switch.
yeah, he has seemed very much in control until now,
Yeah,
and like very, I don't want to say calm, but
yeah, very restrained.
yeah. But now, like now that he's kind of winning this fight,
Yeah.
and like
And he was like
everything's kind of like with the AG
evolving
now,
and even
that
he was like, "Oh, bravo, AG, well done," because it's all feeding into his plan.
yeah. So now that they have the three of them, he's just snapped. He's
Yeah,
like,
AG's become an S rank code cracker.
yeah,
Because he's mind linked with a perfect level. And yeah, it's like, I'm curious to see what... I don't want it to be too predictable. I don't want I don't want the discussion that we've been having for the last 3 weeks to be how it plays out. Especially if it's meant to run until March. That means like we've another 2 months of like being drip fed Kosuke going off the rails.
yeah.
Soloogarmon, Death X evolving, saving Leon, the Jogress, all of that stuff. I was kind of hoping this would be a bit more standard Digimon fare, like where they would get into the gate and then they would have a Digimon adventure
Yeah.
for a couple of chapters, and then you do all the big shenanigans. But this really does feel like it's just going to steamroll through to its ending. Kosuke got everything he wanted and then couldn't actually control what he wanted in the end, and it's just all gonna blow up in his face.
Yeah.
The Soloogarmon stuff was cool though.
Yeah, I like how it was like, oh, he's still just as like wisecracking as Lizamon is.
You know, open up my exhaust thrusters, everything's gonna burn. Okay, but they are mind linked, so you know, maybe don't kill them. I do not need dead cops on my record.
Yeah. Please. I love that. Like, yeah, let's not murder them, because, you know, then I have no hope when I go back to the real world.
Yeah. And Soloogarmon's response is,
because right now
they're pretty tough.
Right now he's still not exactly committing a crime.
No.
He's fighting with Satsuki, but to be fair, she attacked him first.
Yep, this is true.
He accidentally landed on her head, but she attacked him. You can't just be arrested for being a codecracker.
No.
So yeah. Like, I know they have some kind of like directive or something that they're allowed to arrest them at the moment.
Yeah.
But again, what can they charge them with?
Yeah. Because
like,
digital world related crimes are an unknown facet of like day-to-day things. So what do you charge AG with, even if you do catch him?
Yeah, like, you can't exactly charge them for opening the gate. Like,
yeah. But like, yeah, so like it what I really did like about this is just how like there were two distinct parts to this episode. Oh, there it is, the light of Soloogarmon's Digivolution. But
Vanargand.
That's Vanargand.
Vanargand.
Yeah, Vanargand. Vanargard. Vanargand. Sorry.
When your mouth wants to say Vanguard.
Yeah, I think that's
problem.
why I thought it was Vanguard at first, but I knew it was like a weird, like they tried to be Norse with it. Like, what is Vanargand in Norse mythology? You know, that's let me have a look at that.
Yeah.
But again,
then he's like Skull Rage.
Yeah, skull. You know, so so obviously leading into the Fenrir stuff coming up. So in Norse mythology, Fenrir, he who dwells in the marshes, also known as Fenrisulfur, Fenrir's wolf, or Vanargand, monster of the river Van, is a giant monstrous wolf, son of Loki and the giantess Angerboda, and the brother of Hel and Jormungandr. So it's just another name for Fenrir.
For Fenrir, yeah.
It's just another. So his mace is just another name for Fenrir, which is fun because again that's a good lead in to Fenrir Lugamon.
Is it Fenrir Lugamon or Lugarmon?
Luga. It goes back to Luga.
Okay.
Which is an intro which I don't like because Luga to Lugar to Soloogar to Fenrir Luga. I don't like that it goes back all of a sudden. I would prefer the Lugar carry on, but
my brain also doesn't want to read Soloogarmon properly.
Yeah. Well, we talked about this before. Like,
it doesn't look like it's pronounced that way.
No, because old style Digimon naming would have the Sol and Lugar be capital letters among themselves.
Yeah.
It's like how Wargreymon now is written as capital W, lowercase a or G.
Yeah.
Where it used to be capital W, lowercase a or capital G.
Yeah.
Where you had a space between War and Greymon. So
yeah.
Soloogarmon just doesn't look right because it doesn't come across as Soloogarmon so much as it does Soloogarmon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it had two L's as well, it'd look weird.
Oh yeah, that too. Like if it was capital S, lowercase O L, and then capital L, it would just look weird. It would just look weirder. So yeah, I don't know. Why Dorugoramon's name doesn't look right to me either.
Because it's not spelled with the capitals and stuff.
Yeah.
That's what's the anagram? What's the other thing? Acronym. That's the one.
Digital or Unreal Monster. But sorry, I keep trying to say, and then we get distracted by like what things mean. There's two distinct parts to this, and I really do like that. Lugarmon's is, I'm just saying for argument's sake. Sorry, Soloogarmon's is explosive and funny and kind of like, oh yeah, awesome. And then you get to Kosuke and Yulin and it's like, oh god, this is just depressing. Like the tonal shift, and that's done intentionally. Like if that is done intentionally by the writing staff and not just a happy coincidence, that is pretty good because it really does give the sense that this battle has just become the mood overall has changed now that Soloogarmon is here. Because Kosuke is getting the upper hand, power might be going to his head. He's all but assured his victory at this point. But if it was a happy coincidence, then it's I'd like
to be the way that we're reading it as opposed to how it's written.
Yeah. But because it really does emphasize how much like the tonal shift, I think really does emphasize how much like Kosuke is starting to slip. But then you've got the thing of like, well, Professor Ryusenji gave AG the vaccine prototype, and Yulin is now putting two and two together, and
it also, with the two different moods, it shows how detached AG is from everything. Like it points out that it like Yulin is like, well, he's not connected to anything except for Ryusenji gave him that.
Yeah.
But he's like an odd part to the puzzle.
Yeah.
And that kind of works as well because he's really. He's just down doing his own thing down there as part of this plan. Yeah,
because he doesn't have a clue what's going on between these two, or or from what we understand, he doesn't know about their history, or
No,
because we didn't get like the story told us AG came up with the plan, But we didn't get to see Eiji in Tartarus's HQ and
Yeah.
putting together all of this stuff and learning about the backstory of Saya and
Yeah, well, he learned a little bit in the apartment.
yeah.
But definitely, because when Yulin came out first, he like recognized her as
Who he passed in the office.
who he passed. But he doesn't. He didn't.
It didn't click. Oh, hold on a minute. These
That's
two.
the Yulin from his past,
Yeah.
or the Crossroads Witch, or whatever she's called.
Yeah.
Yeah. He
And
keeps using that title
Yeah.
again in this one.
And it keeps annoying her.
Yeah.
Like it's definitely like mind games aplenty. Like. But yeah, so like overall, I really did like it. It's but I do like this. Like there is this exchange here where, you know, sort of Yulin kind of goes, "Oh no, I have to like stop this," and she gets kind of murderous. And Kosuke's like, "Is it a good look for a cop to have murderous intent in their eyes?" And he makes a point where he's like, "I haven't done anything." I mean, because she says he may as well be brandishing a gun in a shopping mall, and he's like, "But what have I done? I haven't so much as broken into a bank vault or tried to crash a plane." And we're looping that back around. So what does she know about that? Like that's a very like. Is that line of dialogue for the audience to tie it back together? Oh, the big criminal organization or Nation X or whoever crashed the plane.
Yeah.
Or was she involved?
Ooh. I don't know.
Like, is that for our sake or is that just the story, you know, making sure we remember that plot point is still there?
But that didn't seem to get her.
No.
Like, it didn't evoke anything in her. Just called him a criminal. But
yeah.
Like...
You're a symbol for code crackers everywhere. And, like, if that's his only crime, good luck holding that up.
Yeah.
Like,
they do say that the Sons of Chaos are... They cross lines when it comes to, like, international...
Yeah.
Digital stuff. Like everything they did to Nation X. But Nation X did it back.
Yeah.
Originally, that was why they went after it as well. Well, for the power of it as well. But
well, yeah. Sorry, I'm just looking over this stuff, like, again, like, you know.
Yeah,
when he gets stabbed in the... When he
said I'd put a hex on you.
Yeah, there's this whole thing about putting a hex on the Crossroads Witch. And he's like, "No, you cannot kill me." And she's like, "Why? Because I'm a cop?" "No." And then the whole thing, if I die, you'll never save Saya. And if I die, Saya will just be sad.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, okay. You know, not quoting verbatim, but like when that's effectively what he's saying to her. She'll drown in her sorrows or whatever.
Yeah. And to be fair, she's not going to know if you live or die, buddy.
Well, that's it. Like,
not where she is.
But that's the other thing, like...
If she is even anywhere.
You know, like... This is why this is also why I think this isn't going to work. I don't think we're going to finish this story with Saya.
No.
I don't think she lives... I don't...
I feel like if Saya lived, we'd get a flashback chapter from her perspective.
You think so?
Maybe. But I think it's too late for that now.
Yeah, just because we're barreling so like heavy-handedly toward the ending of this story. You know, look, I'm definitely very intrigued to see where this week's chapter goes and just sort of like what happens next.
How does this chapter end again?
Oh, it just ends with the dragons fighting.
They're still fighting?
Yeah, hold on. Let me just bring it back up here.
Yeah, no, he's got a...
You were always so considerate of Saya, but you've lost Yulin. You've come all this way for her, whether you know it or not. And then Digimon kicks Oryumon in the face.
Yeah, but it's about to do something. He's like, there would never be a better window. So...
oh, that's just the brave metal attack.
Yeah, I just
That's all it is. Like, Oriumon's reeling because Dorugoromon kicks him, and
yeah.
now is a good time to attack and get the advantage.
Okay.
That's
No,
all.
because I
Yeah,
thought there was gonna something was gonna happen, like he was gonna grab him and push him into the gate or something.
yeah. Or maybe I mean, that could still be right. It could be that the brave metal attack sends
Mm.
Oriumon towards the gate,
Mm.
and that's where, and then it'll be an AG, get up here and help kind of thing or
Yeah.
something, you know?
AG's all the way down at the gate, basically. He's kind of
Yeah,
beside it, isn't he? Yeah.
yeah, and like he doesn't have a clue. He doesn't have a Scooby what's going on here. You know, like AG's just fighting these cops, and
He
like trying to
does
get Soul
know.
Lugermon not to kill them.
Does he know about the three Digimon to open the gate?
He must at this stage.
Yeah. I feel like he does.
Well, he'd have to because he'd have to go along with the plan if it means saving Leon.
Yeah.
You know, so he must know that element of it. But I don't think he's got a Scooby about how over the like how over the limit Kosuke is kind of getting right now.
Yeah.
Um, but I really did. I love how action packed the Soul Lugermon stuff is.
Yeah.
You know, with the just you know.
Oh.
Yeah, there's lots of howling. There's like so much howling in
Yeah.
the Soul Lugermon version of it. You know, but just even like this opening descriptor of like the air smelled like pure burning exhaust.
Mm.
Pure fire erupted from the slits in the generators.
When I read that, I was like, "Say pure again."
And you know, witness Lugamon's ultimate form. You know,
I like that sentence as well. There was bite to back up the bark.
yeah, it's a really good one. Yeah, no, I do. I enjoy that. And like, he loves his wrench.
Yeah,
He loves his wrench like mace. His wrench like structure. And I shall set everything aflame. All will be reduced to ash. That's
He's
like
kind of getting a bit like, was it Kazuchimon?
Yeah,
Kind of speaking all.
like godly and
Yeah.
yeah. But I also what I also did really like about that line in particular is Hell Lugermon was like a mindless beast, what basically was doing the same thing.
Mm.
Soul Lugermon's in control of it.
Yeah.
You know, so there's um there's what's the word I'm looking for? What is the word I'm looking for? There's intent.
Yeah.
There's intent in what Soul Lugermon's about to do in this chapter compared to Hell Lugermon's just attack everything that moves mentality. All the high Commandramon here is the high pitched whine of the generators, but before they can react, Soul Lugermon has already dented their shields.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's just howling, and then eruption howling, and then yeah.
The mace is howling.
Yeah. And everything's opening up. It's like, you know,
Yeah.
AG, open up the, you know, the exhausts on my back. I'm gonna burn everything down and, you know, everything else. He's now protected in magical fire, and it's just, you know, it's great. I love it. Again, the contrast is it really does add to it, because this is what you want a perfect level to be.
Yeah.
I was very curious how they were going to show first time evolution bonus in text.
Yeah.
And this is really what you want for it.
Mm.
And then of course, then as we've like kind of mentioned a couple of times now, this immediate mood change. Like, it starts off innocently enough because we cut back to Kosuke and Yulin, and they're like, the light of Lugermon's evolution was enough to interrupt their fight. And then, you know, Yulin's like, oh my god, the people I've trained up. Oh no. You know, she's having
my two perfect mind linkers.
Yeah. Like, I pan-picked you. How are you falling to this random codecracker who's making a mockery of the entire force? Like, and then she kind of realizes it's AG, and Kosuke, you know, congratulates him on obtaining perfect level. And then the two of them just keep fighting, and we're getting like kind of what we talked about before with putting two and two together that Ryusenji is the one who gave Eiji the vaccine prototype, and maybe they have been working together this whole time. Which begs the question of, if they have been, why did Eiji need to sneak into the Sons of Chaos? But I'm starting to think that's all a lie. It's making that's all a lie for Eiji's benefit, that he thinks he's getting in.
Maybe
so he's not being approached by the Sons of Chaos or something.
Or it was a way to push him to get to this evolution because they need him to be evolved.
Yeah, well, that was the one thing, like, because after the thing with Nation X,
yeah,
when Marvin and Kosuke were talking, they were like, they did say something to that effect, like,
about pushing him, yeah,
about pushing him to evolve further. So the test and everything could just be, you know, I suppose a plan within a plan.
Yeah,
you know, there's layers to this stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of like giving him some kind of education.
Yeah.
To get to this point.
Yeah.
But not telling him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Letting him think he's doing it on his own when all along it's been at the whim of these people.
Yeah, because if they were just telling him constantly to do it,
yeah,
then it wouldn't go right.
And yeah,
because he'd be under pressure.
And also for this organization that's meant to be so selective about who it lets in and how secretive it's meant to be, like, Kosuke knew Eiji was working for Ryusenji and was fine with it.
Yeah.
That still bugs me, that he was just like, oh, you're a spy for Ryusenji, cool. Let's go get a drink.
Yeah. I'd like there to be some kind of talking point about that, but there probably won't be.
Well, I mean, we do see Ryusenji. No, look, we don't take the trailer at face value because, you know, trailers can lie.
Yeah.
You know, it's all about the order and context of things. I mean, look at the trailer for Chapter 3. Kosuke was saying stuff on the battlefield he wasn't saying until he was actually talking with Eiji by himself.
Yeah.
Excuse
me, was Soloogarmon in Chapter 3's trailer?
No.
No, we just thought he was.
We just thought he was, yeah. That's why I went back and watched it toward the end. I'm like, I could have sworn he was there, but no. But, like, we do see Ryusenji in the Stonehenge area with the Black Agumon.
Yeah.
So he has to make an appearance in this chapter in some regard.
We know he gave him the thing, whatever.
Yeah, like, and that's the other thing that doesn't make sense in any of this, like, quasi spy thriller aspect of Eiji infiltrating the Sons of Chaos. What was the point of the infiltration if Ryusenji and Tartarus were working on this DMIA cure anyway?
Well, it could be that they were working on it before and he gave him that to go off and do, and then he hadn't heard from him in a long, long time.
Possibly.
So
yeah.
He couldn't get in contact, so maybe that's where the whole Eiji thing came into it. And maybe that's also why Kosuke didn't care then that it was Ryusenji, because he was like, oh, well, I suppose I ghosted him.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
But they've got to be in contact because he had the video feed of Saya.
Exactly.
And they weren't married as far as we know. So he wouldn't have been like a next of kin or whatever.
No, so like
I assume Ryusenji is the one who has to share it with him.
Yeah, he's just forwarding it on here, you know, but why hasn't he been forwarding it to Yulin? You know, no, I get, like, you know, she wasn't Yulin's, like, fiance or whatever, but surely
then again,
Yulin would like to know how Saya's doing.
At the same time, though, Yulin pushed away from all that and closed herself off, so maybe she didn't want to know.
Maybe, yeah, because we did have that, like, part in the chapter that really confused us on timelines of Yulin being brought to the office to effectively say goodbye or whatever.
Yeah. So
maybe she just went, no, I'm good after this. You know, she kind of pieced out on it, but I'm curious to see where it goes. Yeah. For sure. Definitely curious to see where it all goes.
I mean, it would be nice if Saya was alive and, you know, all of that, but it looked, I know, again, like we just said, not basing things off the trailer, but the trailer looks like it's going to be a sad situation.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, I don't think we get Death X Dorugoramon.
Because of a happy thing.
Because of a happy thing. Yeah.
Oh.
You know, maybe But I kind of want to find out now how separate are those incidents. Like, if Kosuke's goal is the sacred chalice, does he even need the syringe?
Yeah,
Like,
unless
is
the
the
sacred
syringe going to
chalice
Leon,
is,
and then it's going to be okay? Well, Leon, you're going to help us do this now because we saved your
unless
life. You're
the
going to owe
sacred
us.
chalice is something to do with where DMIA things go.
Hmm.
The Digicores are in the chalice or something.
Oh, I think the Agumon is just roaming the world.
Yeah.
Depends, but if he's been human contaminated, surely he wouldn't have been allowed back through the gate. So
Yeah.
yeah, maybe you're onto something there. Maybe there's
Yeah.
a
Maybe the chalice itself is more of a prison.
yeah, yeah.
Or is, it could be anything. We all we know right now is the name of it.
Mm. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that just doesn't click right now, and I'm very curious to see where that goes and
Yeah.
what we end up with later on. But
Is it weird that I picture Digicores as just like marbles?
no,
No?
no,
Okay.
I do that too.
I just pictured the chalice like a bowl of marbles.
Yeah,
But glowing and
that's
all
what I
different
was.
colors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of where my thought process went to
Yeah.
as well. I was like, yeah, okay, maybe.
It's like in what's that movie called? Inside Out? You know where all the memories, all they look like a bunch of marbles on shelves.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That makes me think of.
Oh, excuse me. Um. So yeah, like I guess we'll more pieces of the puzzle will come together.
Mm.
With when 4-4 releases. Now we know there's no fan art to check out.
Yeah.
However, when we recorded 4-3, we kind of forgot to check the comments.
Which is weird because I'm constantly reminding you of it normally.
Yeah, but that New Year's come down. It's
Forget how to brain in that week.
oh yeah, going back to work today for like the first time in 2 weeks, I was like,
What's a job?
yeah, basically. Basically, yeah. What's a password? So let me bring up the comments then for anything we've missed recently, and we'll just go through them. Yeah. So Yuki says happy birthday, Meg,
Thank you.
on the 4-2 review.
Thank you.
Desmond on our part 6 Digimon Survive stream says Merry Megmas and happy AJ year to all. Yuki also says, "Oh no, R.I.P. Meg. She didn't take the new Shuji surviving the news of Shuji surviving so well and fell ill. Looks like we'll have to call in Thetismon. Let's see how long it takes for AJ to read the next batch of comments." Rude. We got a comment on 4-1 from Farah. I'm sorry. Just YouTube desktop only gives me the @. It doesn't give me the names.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, it's a bit. It's a bit strange.
Ali is always just. Oh, it's Farah.
It's Farah. Okay, Farah Al Nakib. Okay, so Farah commented on 4-1. Surprised they didn't make Fenrir Take Mikazuchi a Royal Knight member, or have a Royal Knight versus Royal Knight at the same time.
Bored of this.
That's why I'm glad they didn't. I'm like.
You always say it's the Royal Knights again.
Yeah, and I'm kind of, for the most, like, the gatekeepers haven't even been confirmed as Royal Knights.
No.
So we haven't seen Omegamon since he turned up in that one.
Yeah, they're in behind the gate. But
yeah,
the gatekeepers on the outside are not any of those. I think they're like lower scale ones.
Yeah, so I do wonder if we're gonna see the Royal Knights again soon. But I'm okay with them not doing Royal Knight versus Royal Knight. If there's only 13 Royal Knights, we have all 13 of them. 1 or 2 I look at and go, nah, you shouldn't be in this group, bud. Gankumon. Gankumon shouldn't be a Royal Knight. He's not knightly in any
Yeah.
respect. He's not a dragon and or covered in armor.
Mm.
You know, he's basically Bancho Leomon's best friend. But, you know, I'm okay with Fenrir Lugarmon, Mikazuchi mode not being a member of the Royal Knights either, because,
Yeah.
you know, not everything needs to be siphoned off into one of these groups, whether it be the Olympus 12,
Yeah.
the Royal Knights, the whatever.
Yeah.
Not
I'd
everything.
like that. I'd like if that was just a cameo, that he just protects the voids,
Yeah.
or the
Oh, I'd be
what are
fine
they
with
called?
that.
Not the voids.
The vortexes?
Vortexes.
Yeah.
Yeah. If he's just one
If
of
you
those.
get too close to the vortexes, Omegamon turns up to wreck your day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But otherwise, we don't see him.
No.
That would be nice.
Yeah, that would be nice if we don't see Omegamon or any of the Royal Knights for the rest of this story. 2 thumbs up from me, 10 out of 10 story.
Yeah. But the fact that they all know about the Royal Knights.
Yeah, that still doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me at all.
No. So we had a comment from Ali on 4-1, who said 4-1 seems like a good start. Oryu versus Dorogora fight is just like spam attack names because no one knows how to make a fight anymore with a flying snake with arms, at least compared to AG versus Satsuki 2.0. Yeah, nobody knows. Yeah, like that's why it was just describe because nobody knew how to write this dragon fight.
Yeah.
At least AG versus Satsuki round 2 was fun. Just that a beautiful blank slate versus an unoriginal blank slate is not engaging. Yeah, like for as great as those designs are,
I feel like they work better as animation rather than description.
Yeah.
Hard to write down how they...
The Western dragon versus the samurai dragon, or whatever way it worked out, you know, it was... like, that's why I like seeing Ryudamon and Ginryumon in Ghost Game was so nice, because it was like, oh, this little guy gets no screen time. Like, he hasn't really been in anything since they introduced him. Awesome! You know, he plays a role of sorts in the story.
Yeah.
He's a glorified taxi.
Yeah.
But, you know, it was nice to see him. In this, it's just like, it's nice when we get the little illustrations from Mallow and he's there.
Yeah.
Because he always looks so inquisitive and, like, he looks so, like, demure but inquisitive.
Yeah.
I always go back.
He's got a kind of a stern air about him.
Well, I was thinking more of that image of, like, the one that's framed from, like, under Satsuki's legs.
Yeah.
And, like, Yulin sitting on the chair and she's all stern and cross-legged and whatever else. And Ryudamon looks like he wants to ask Satsuki if she's like a cup of tea. You know, he's got just this, like, friendly air about him for such a...
Yeah, no, I just get a kind of a educated old man vibe from him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dorumon has especially given that off in the apartment. Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if Ryudamon is something similar. One thing that does upset me, though, well, not upset me, it may come to pass, it may not, is depending on how all this goes, we may never see Dorumon, Ryudamon, and Lugamon just interact as their child level forms. I feel like that's wasted opportunity.
Yeah.
But, you know, if this was an actual anime, maybe we would, because they'd need to fill out the gaps.
Yeah.
There's a few
might get to...
There's a few weeks of this where we've gone, 1, 2, and 3 would need to be a whole episode.
Yeah.
So
maybe once they get there.
Maybe. I don't see it happening.
It takes so much energy to break in there or whatever that, you know, they all devolve and...
Maybe. I don't see it happening, though.
No, but, you know, it happens sometimes. And then they have to eat to power up.
Yeah. It really depends on how long it's going to take to get from this fight to Dex Dorogoromon.
Yeah.
Like, that's my gauge on... I would just love to see art of the 3 of them together.
Yeah.
Like, I know we have, like, the key art for the series, or the novel, but I would like new art for, like, 4-5, and you see the 3 of them sort of, like, sizing each other up or something.
Yeah.
I think that, there's just there's potential there.
Yeah.
Ali goes on to say, then about the card game project, the game devs probably got a bit worried that the fan base response or excitement was not that the project would not deliver, so they delayed the info to January 19th, the day Bandai will show upcoming products of multiple TCG. Well, I mean, since then, Digimon Liberator's announcement has come and gone, and it's oh,
It hasn't delivered.
no. Our full thoughts can be found on our Digimon All-Star Rumble playthrough, accessible to members only. What? So yeah, join the channel, get emotes and such. It'll be great. So that's all the comments from Seekers and Survive. There are comments from way back from the anime. But I think we were going to hold on to them until we started Savers and Frontier.
I think we read that.
Did we?
I think we did.
I don't know, because I haven't marked them off, so I think we were saving anime related comments until we got to
maybe we just read them ourselves and then went, yeah, we'll deal with them later.
Yeah. Well, I know I did read this comment, so that gets it hard. I know we read this one out.
Yeah.
So maybe I just hadn't marked them off.
Okay.
So that's everything, I think. Just checking to see if YouTube is holding anything for review. No. Any special mentions?
No.
No. Okay. So that's everything. I don't really have anything else to say for 4-3 because it's so short compared to the other two. But I feel like we've kind of gone over the main talking points. Soloogarmon is awesome. Kosuke's losing his mind.
Yeah.
And we've I think we've covered what we can.
And
Yulin has just realized how out of the loop she is.
Yeah.
So
this is not the fight she thought it was.
no, certainly not. Which is kind of fun in its own way.
She thinks she has such a handle on everything, being the chief of the Digipolice or whatever.
Yeah.
And then suddenly she realizes, oh, this was a trap.
Yeah. It's a trap. So I think with that we'll finish up here.
Yeah.
If you're watching this on the live premiere going out today, Wednesday the 3rd of January, be sure to join us for our next delve into Digimon Survive. We're starting chapter 8.
Yeah.
And I think it chapter 7 ended with Takuma
waking up in the real world.
Yeah, there seems to be something with him in his apartment with his mom.
Yeah.
But I think that's going to be a flashback, and then he'll be in the school room with the talking Yuki. She'll have her soul back or whatever.
Yeah.
There was something about the master being like, "No, the maiden has escaped." So, looking forward to seeing where that goes and how different it is compared to the other routes. But I can't imagine this one will be too different until we get to the part where you have to go home.
Yeah.
Because then something has to happen, because we're not going to be choosing moral anger or we're not going to be choosing morality, anger, or
wrath or harmony.
Sorry, that's it.
Yeah.
Morality, wrath, or harmony. It's just gonna be the golden route ending.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious to see how that changes things going into chapter 9 then. The library in chapter 10, all of that stuff. So
yeah, I'm really curious how that one's gonna go because nobody's dead.
Yeah. How does
what is haunting them?
Because the library chapter is such at least on the other 3 timelines, the library chapter is so critical to how this end of the story plays out, because you're wrestling with the ghosts of the dead, or at least the illusions of the ghosts of the dead. Then you're facing off against the Kenzoku more, other characters are dying, and then depending on your timeline, Piemon causes the plot to go crazy. And then you're running into stuff with the master.
Yeah.
And then, whoever the trauma MacGuffin of the route is getting fused with the master and such. So super curious where the golden route is going to take us just in all of that now. Like, this is completely uncharted territory. I feel like, as I say, I feel like this chapter is going to be very much the same. You know, we're going to realize just how long Miyuki has been away from the real world, or how long she's been trapped in the Kemonogami world. But everything after that, I'm just like, I haven't a Scooby.
Yeah.
I could not even hazard a guess to tell you what might happen. Because again, like you said, nobody has died. Yeah. So how does the library chapter work? How does Paimon still fit into the story? Do we just kill him in the real world like we do on the moral, or the moral route, the red one? Because the yellow route he survives, and that's how we end up with the Plutomon ending. And then the green route, I think he survives. He does. On the green route, he survives and tricks Kaito into fusing Vamdemon with him. And that's how we end up with Volt Bautomon. So, you know, I don't know how any of that's going to go down.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, excited for it, to say the least.
Yeah. Like a whole new game.
Yeah, effectively so. So once we're done with that, then and maybe Seekers will be moving into Frontier and Savers. We might look at Liberator when it starts and see if it's worth covering week to week, or if we'll cover it every couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a ream of content coming. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Get on board. Become a channel member. You'll get special Digivolving badges and special Digimon Survive related emotes. And but yeah, definitely join us.
Special content.
And special content, yeah. Such as our Digimon All-Star Rumble fun and shenanigans there, and playing through a bit of the story. Meg's folks got me Digimon Rumble Arena 2 for Christmas. So we might play a bit of that, you know, exclusively for members. And yeah. But yeah, there's other stuff coming that I can't talk about right now. So it's definitely worth getting in the door early and not being left behind. So guys, much love to you all. Thank you so much for joining us for this past nearly 55 minutes.
Yeah.
And we will hopefully see you tonight live for Digimon Survive.
Yeah.
I made those two words rhyme.
You didn't say Seekers or Savers.
No, I didn't mix the two. I didn't mix up my S's. Survive, Seekers, and Savers. I've been tripping over those for the last 12 weeks. So, good morning, everybody. Thanks for being here. Happy time zones and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, yeah.
Woo! Done.
Da, 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 da.
Bye.